All right, so yesterday I put on some of this naval jelly rust dissolver in my Loctite. And it's this pink jelly stuff that I brushed in here, and I just don't feel like it ate rust out like I thought it was going to eat the rust. So today I got what's called Evapo Rust. Now, that's a name brand that says what it does, right? So, no scrubbing, reusable, easy soak, removes rust to bare metal. And it wants you to put like tools in it and like hardware, just like fill up a pot and put stuff in it. But I don't have that luxury. So what I'm going to do today is use this tire shine sponge, and I'm just going to smear it in here the best I can and just see what happens. So I have no idea what my results are going to be. It wants to sit for 12 to 24 hours. So that's what I'm talking about. All right. Get a good long soak in it. All right. Let's see how this does. I'm going to just kind of slop it on the sponge. All right, drop the sponge. That's all right. We'll let that sit and see what happens with it just on there. Well, that didn't take 30 seconds. See what happens. Okay, so I'm here taking the rust off, and I found out with my little pick tool that there's that Bondo or whatever I thought it was. I thought maybe it had just been fixed. I thought the car had been wrecked maybe. And I think it's a cloth barrier because the fender isn't like that should be. I can see through it right here to the lip on the back side. So I think there's like a cloth sound deadener going on. I just took the wheel off, and I'm going to use my handy pry tools that I have, and I'm going to pop this inner fender out, and we'll see what that gets me. I'll show you guys the first couple going on here. I have a couple different pry tools because I don't know which one I'll be using. So this right here, what's holding it on? All right, we've got one right here. It's not out. There we go. See what that looks like right there? Trying to make it focus. There we go. It's just a little hard plastic with a, there we go. Now you guys can see it. That's all these pieces are. So you have to be careful with them because you can really booger them up. So anyways, I'm going to get going on the rest of this inner fender in here. See, if I grab like my fender right here by like the mud flap, you can see this whole thing moving. That's a inner liner that goes all the way around the inside that you can take off. See? Take that off and get to what's behind the fender. Alright, I got this inner fender out. Let me show you guys what it looks like in there. You can see there's a lip right here. And there's no way that's solid all the way through to right here. That's this right here. That you cannot get to whatever this cloth stuff is in here. It's just a moisture holder though. So I'm just going to put the inner fender back in, and I'll put some body filler on it, and I'll videotape a little bit of it and let you guys go through it with me. Just out of this here, let me show you guys. Putting this back together, you take your tab that you pulled out, you line it up over the hole, and it just pushes right in. Okay, this one's a little bit tougher, but it's not bad. See the one? You got that one in. I'm gonna tap a little bit with a screwdriver. Okay, I picked the only one that didn't just push right in with my thumb, but I promise it's not hard. Stand by. Alright, I'm going to see if I can do this one-handed, but I'll show you guys how to put your tire back on if you haven't done it before. Coming off is easy. Going on, if you haven't done it before, you might get a little bit stuck. So I've just got regular sneakers on, and you can pick up your wheel and hang it on. I'm going to try to do this with one hand, so it might be a little bit more difficult for me. But you got to line up your bolts. So just pick a hole where that you can see. And all you're going to do is flex your toes up and down. And you're going to, I have one hand on the tire. So just look at what flexing my toes up and down does. So I'm just looking at that bolt, that lug right there. And I'm trying to work that one on. Boom, there it goes. Now and then once I have it on, then I push my heels up. So it goes, so it goes on. And now you're ready to tighten them up. All right, so I've got my lug nuts finger tight, and I had to break out a big boy air impact and step it down to a 1/2 inch for my socket that I had to get this off. So, and by the way, I had to turn it to level 3. So they should not have been that tight. My drill, this Craftsman drill should have, I want to say it was over 300 pounds of breakaway force. Maybe it wasn't quite that much, but it was like 275. I can't remember exactly. But, you know, you're supposed to torque these. Now, I'm not going to torque them. I'm going to hit them with the impact like a hooligan. But you really don't, whoever put these wheels on, you know, just, I don't know if it was a tire shop or whatever, but they hit that sucker hard on those lugs hard. So anyways, you guys know the drill. It's just you kind of go in like an alternating pattern. So I'm going to buzz these down real quick. Let the I should have showed you. Here, let's take one all the way off, and I'll show you real quick what it looks like. These lug nuts are tapered, so that's how they center themselves properly on each lug. Oh, these studs are forever. See that? There's a taper to it. So you want to make sure that's clean. And I shot all this with a little bit of WD before, but I'm just getting all the, I'm not really turning it hard, just barely hitting it. All right, now I'm gonna put it on the impact for a few seconds, and I'm gonna do it kind of like a star pattern. You'll see here. And I'm just gonna go around the circle. All right, and that should not go anywhere. Now we grab our little centerpiece, and sometimes this can be harder to get on than the whole dang wheel. So you've got these little clips on the back side, and it doesn't look like very many of them are broken on this one, so that's good. So these clips literally go onto each lug nut, and you want to line up. You can see on this wheel it has a pattern. Come on now, this is difficult one-handed, let me tell you. Come on, I'm half a thing off. Come on, there we go. Come on. No. Oh. Where's my lineup? Should be right there. There. I didn't have it rotated right. I was missing my pry hole. So that's how you get it off. You stick a screwdriver in there and you pry it off. So, all right. Time to get to the Bondo. Like my phone charger, keep it out of the way. But this is how I'm going to fill this hole. I'm put a pry body tool in here, a body panel pry tool. There's actually a nut right there. It's a screw that goes up and holds all that together. So I don't want to strip that out and put a whole lot of space in there and crank that, but I do want to get a little bit of a space. I was taking my pick tool and running it across and getting some of that junk out. But anyways, you'll see this metal's getting really weak. I can put my pry tool right here and move that fender. So, I might have just shattered it. I don't think I had you guys on it, but anyways, that's very brittle right there. That's gonna be a pain in the butt to get bondoed right, but oh well, it doesn't have to be perfect for my purposes. But anyways, you can see the rust etch did get some rust out of there. It did work a little bit. So not as good as if I could have soaked it. It's made for tools. And I was trying to think of a way. I was thinking about going and getting some like Permatex or something, like some silicone, and like running a big fat bead underneath each of these and making like a lake and letting it sit and soak in there overnight. But I decided not to. So anyways, all right, well, I'll get onto the body filler here and show you guys that in a second. All right, so I went to O'Reilly's and I got some acetone to help me prep the paint. Just clean the surface. I got just some blue shop towels at O'Reilly's. These are nice and soft, and I wet it down with a little bit of acetone, and you want to take all the grease and residues off of there. And the dust from sanding and stuff like that. I also got some rust barrier preventative coating. So I'm going to put this over this real lightly and use that kind of as a primer afterwards, but also as a rust barrier before we put down our putty. So bear with me. I might have to mute the audio. I'm going to turn on the shop fan so I don't spray this right into my back seat. So if I lose audio here, that's what happened. The trigger on this can is very strange, very sensitive. You don't want those splotches like that. See, that's because I got air in it because I was too light on my pressure. Then over here as well. See how this almost looks like a water stain because it's too thick. That's not good. So while that's wet, I'm gonna grab a cloth and some acetone and try to remove that. Get a clean line right here. This is probably a very bad idea that I'm not supposed to be doing this. But it is what it is. Got to start your stroke outside of where your paint was. Just get that there. That was kind of goofy. Alright, of course, the plate I was using. Let's again here. Start off, finish off. See it sprayed like that. This is very, I do not like this can at all. So what I should have done is put some masking tape up here, masking tape around here, but I'm hoping that my overspray will help blend the color. We'll find out if I'm wrong later. All right, lights. Okay, so you can see here I'm ready to shoot my rust proofing again. Now, before I didn't tape anything up, but I was like, you know what? We may as well do it a little bit better this time. What the heck? So all I did was just take a little bit of tape and I just lightly taped down the edges. I didn't press hard. I didn't even use the whole thing. And then I taped each sheet of the magazine together as I went around. So I just started in the middle and I just kind of went around the edge each direction. And that should make it easier. I'm just going to fully cover now and see what happens. Remember from last time, this Duplicolor, this top is super sensitive. And I did not like the way it shot at all. It shoots, it goes longer than what you want, and it's very touchy. So let's see if we can do a little bit better. I have the fan on. It should suck most of the paint that way. So let's see how it goes. All right. I went a little bit heavier in some areas than I wanted to. For example, in these almost bullet hole type rust pits, I felt like I can still see the rust in the hole just because it's not as smooth as I'd like. There's that cloth in it, and I just can't get it out of there no matter what I do. So but it does appear that all the rust is gone. It's covered. Looks like maybe I could shoot a little bit more on this end right here. Got all the way down in there. So this should allow for a decent rust proofing. I'm gonna, I think, very lightly hit this with a scuffing pad and then then do the body filler again. We had a problem. The acetone that I use, even 24 hours later, it's still taking this stuff off. So I waited 24 hours before I did this body work. It says it takes 48 hours to fully cure, but let's see. Dries to touch in 1 hour, can be handled in 3 hours, and fully cures in 48 hours. Can be recoated at any time. After each use, invert can and spray until clear glass is out. So what I don't understand is I could put water on it, but the acetone just took it right off. And maybe acetone's supposed to do that. I didn't know acetone was that aggressive. Maybe acetone is paint thinner. I am ignorant to it, to be honest. So maybe those are questions that I will get answers to in the comments, of course. But that's okay. This is supposed to be beginner stuff. I should add that, like, I do not care about the vehicle in this, the way it looks like this. It's not a problem for me. If you're that type of person, whatever, I drove around like this. So, it happens. Everybody knows, oh, it's being worked on. I would think most people look at this and say, yeah, it's not painted yet. I could be wrong, but anyways, I'm going to let this dry for at least 24 hours, and I'll come back tomorrow, hit it with a scuffing pad, and I'll put the putty in it again, and we'll do take 2. So, anyways, keep watching. So we'll see you when that's finished. All right. So I've got most of our service prepped here. I wiped it off with some water and a rag, and it's time to start mixing up our Bondo here. I just went to, I think I got this at Ace Hardware. It's just body filler. It comes with this paper, and it wants you to put the putty around the line and then put the hardener there. So the directions are: tape this sheet to a clean, flat, and sturdy surface. Place desired filler putty in the appropriate puddle outline below. The puddle outline should be covered, so it wants the whole area filled. Run a single bead of hardener below, and then you want to fold it. Seems to be folding is this super popular term that everyone wants you to do here. Because you don't want to introduce air into the mixture. Personally, I don't really see how folding is somehow helpful than something else, but I guess we'll find out. All right, I've got a fresh cloth and some mineral spirits. I'm gonna hit this real quick to clean it up. It's been about 24 hours. So, well, now I got the rag dirty. Turn it inside out, refold it back over, and it's perfectly usable for the next coat. All right, now I'm going to mix the putty. All right, now that we've let this dry, it's actually been closer to an hour. I'm just going to hit this with a little bit of a scuff and with some 180 grit sandpaper, and we'll start the next batch. Want to get things relatively smooth on the top. On the bottom, we're not doing anything. Don't want any filler down there. Sorry about that, I bumped the tripod with my foot. People say you're supposed to do like a a X pattern. I don't honestly know what's best. Growing up, we always use like a DA sander, dual axis sander, which means it like orbits inside an orbit. So it's sitting there going like this around as it's going around, and it kind of makes it swirly. And I always thought that was the goal, to not have directions to it, so it covers up. But what do I know? I'm wanting to make sure that my body filler is filling in the low. And as I'm doing this, I'm going to actually turn on my fan. I don't want to suck all this right into my car. So this right here, I'm done with. I think I'm done with this right here too. I don't think there's anything high. You're just kind of feeling it. If anything feels higher or lower than what's around it. If you can kind of see right here, there's a little bit of a dimpling in this top, but really this whole door, I took out material in this dog leg of the door. So that right there isn't smooth, and I can get down in there with this sanding block and make it smooth to the touch, but really this whole thing should be glazed over with the putty out when I'm done with it. So I'm not really focused on getting that part because of that. So I'm focusing more over here where I definitely have a raised surface. I think I have a raised surface on both of these still. So I'm just sanding that to be smooth. You could definitely speed this up with, like I said, a DA sander, an orbital sander, something like that. And believe me, I'm lazy. I'm fat. I don't want to sit here and huff and puff on camera sanding this out. But I just don't trust myself with it. For the same reason I didn't get the grinder out for most of this work. I used that Dremel attachment on the drill just because I didn't think I had the discipline or the skill to use the angle grinder. So I don't think this is a high anymore here. That's the end of sanding the block. They're doing that, and the block isn't. So you try to move too far, or it's going to go down in. Sand around it. None of this thing here. It's mostly smooth here now. That's low. Put my eyes right here. We'll work it out. Not a problem. I thought my best technique on filling these was actually on this one here, because I've done everything else already. I believe once. At least once. You want to take now. All right, we're going to mix up one more with the real paddle now and see how it goes. Oh, need to wipe it down first. Wipe it down first. Sorry, people, got a little excited. All right, clean rag. Mineral spirits. Just wipe it down. Clean everything off. I'm going to go over to the backside. I'm going to use I folded it reverse. I'm going to use the other two sides. Make sure everything's nice and clean. I'll put one up here. All right. And I'm going to call that dry enough.
Hey y'all, I'm editing this video and it's getting really long. I'm at 33 minutes, I think, right now. I have a whole lot of extra work to do with the body filler. There's a lot more after this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make one video that's all the Bondo work, and I'll leave it right here as the end of the prep, and we'll go from there in other videos. So this is going to be the end of this video. So thanks for watching. Learn from my mistakes. What got cut from that first video? It's probably one of the most important videos that I had recorded. But I lost it. I don't know what happened to it in my phone. But that very first application that I did, that you saw me sanding off, I put too much hardener in it, and that stuff was sticky before I even got to the car. So you'll see that there's not a lot in there. I had to take a lot of it off and almost start over on that very first time. So for some reason I lost that footage. I don't know. I'm switching right now to a GoPro. And so I just got that in. I have another 2 or 3 videos that'll be coming out before it's the GoPro footage, but hopefully that'll keep me from only having so much room. I have a few gig room on my phone that I'm filming with, and I need to keep deleting 15, 20 gigs at a time to make room for more videos. So that's my mistake, and I apologize. But anyways, like and subscribe. It's Easter Sunday here as I'm recording this, so happy Easter. And I'll get this video uploaded, and I'll start editing the all the Bondo work. So I appreciate it. If you guys have any questions over what I learned, if you want to leave any comments, pick my brain, feel free to do so. I made lots of mistakes on this project, but you'll see it's almost done now, and it's looking pretty good. So I appreciate it. For those of you that are watching through, I know this is a long video, but there seemed like a good place to end it. So I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.